For centuries, the Eastern Gate, also known as the Golden Gate, has stood as a silent sentinel on the eastern wall of Jerusalem's Old City. Sealed shut since the Ottoman era, it carries profound spiritual significance for Jews, Christians, and Muslims, each tying it to their eschatological hopes. According to biblical prophecy, particularly in Ezekiel 44 verses 1-3, the gate was to remain closed until the return of a divine figure, interpreted by Christians as Jesus Christ, the Messiah. Its sudden and unexplained opening, as recent reports suggest, has ignited fervent speculation. Could this be the long-awaited sign of the Messiah's return? This article explores the gate's history, its theological weight, the reasons behind its sealing, and the implications of its reported opening, delving into a narrative that spans centuries and intertwines faith, politics, and architecture. The Golden Gate, known in Hebrew as Sha'ar Harakamim, Gate of Mercy, holds a unique place in Jerusalem's sacred landscape. Positioned on the eastern wall of the Temple Mount, it faces the Mount of Olives, a site steeped in messianic expectation across Abrahamic faiths. For Jews, it is linked to the prophesied arrival of the Messiah, who will enter Jerusalem through this gate. Christians associate it with Jesus' triumphal entry on Palm Sunday and his anticipated return, as foretold in Zechariah 14 verse 4 and Acts 1 verse 11. Muslims, meanwhile, call it Bab al-Rahmah, Door of Mercy, and Bab al-Tawbah, Door of Repentance, tying it to Islamic traditions of judgment and mercy. Historically, the gate's origins are debated. Some scholars, like Dutch archaeologist Leen Ritmeyer, argue that its massive gateposts date back to the First Temple period, possibly as the Shushan Gate mentioned in Mishnah Mid.1:3, the sole eastern entrance to the temple. Others attribute the current structure to the Byzantine era, 5th to 6th century CE, or the Umayyad period, 7th century CE, built atop earlier foundations. Regardless, its location near the Holy of Holies, the innermost sanctum of the Jewish temple, amplifies its spiritual gravity. The gate's architecture is striking. Unlike other gates flush with Jerusalem's walls, the Golden Gate projects outward by 2 meters, its twin portals framed by ornate arches. The interior features a vaulted hall divided by columns, leading to a rectangular chamber with 2 large domes. Beneath lies an older arch partially buried, hinting at a lower original ground level. These layers of construction reflect Jerusalem's complex history, from the reigns of King Hezekiah and Herod to Byzantine and Islamic rule. The Golden Gate's closure is as storied as its existence. It was first sealed in 810 CE by Muslim authorities, possibly to assert control over the sacred site. During the Crusades, it was reopened in 1102 CE but sealed again by Saladin in 1187 CE after recapturing Jerusalem. The definitive sealing came in 1541 CE under Ottoman Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, who ordered the gate bricked shut during a major restoration of Jerusalem's walls. Suleiman's decision was not merely practical. A prevailing theory suggests it was a theological maneuver to thwart Jewish and Christian messianic hopes. Jewish tradition holds that the Messiah, preceded by the prophet Elijah, will enter through the Eastern Gate. By sealing it and placing a Muslim cemetery in front, knowing a Jewish priest would avoid defilement by crossing a graveyard, Suleiman symbolically blocked this prophecy. The cemetery remains today, its tombstones a silent barrier. The gate also served practical roles. During the Ottoman period, it was repurposed as a military watchtower, leveraging its sturdy structure and strategic position. A small mosque and brickmaking center were built nearby, supporting maintenance of the Temple Mount, Haram-esh-Sharif. In the 19th century, parts of the gate's western wall were demolished and rebuilt, adding new arches while preserving its sealed state. The Golden Gate's spiritual allure is rooted in Ezekiel 44 verses 1-3, which describes a vision of a sealed eastern gate. The gate of the outer court that faces east shall be shut, because the Lord, the God of Israel, has entered by it. The prince, he shall enter by way of the porch of that gate. Christians interpret the prince as Jesus, who entered Jerusalem through this gate during his ministry and will return through it at the second coming. Zechariah 14 verse 4 further ties the Mount of Olives to this event, stating the Messiah will stand there, splitting the mount in 2. For Jews, the gate is linked to the Shekinah, divine presence. that departed the temple through the eastern gate before its destruction and will return through it. Rabbi Eliezer, a first-century sage, described the gate's path as a sacred route for high priests during rituals like the Red Heifer ceremony and Yom Kippur's scapegoat rite. Maimonides, in his Mishneh Torah, detailed the gate's processional use, noting the 12 steps leading from it to the temple's court of women. Recent reports of the Golden Gate's opening have sent shockwaves through religious communities. Social media posts and videos from Jerusalem visitors claim to show movement or accessibility within the gate structure, though no official confirmation from Israeli or Palestinian authorities has emerged. For evangelical Christians and prophecy enthusiasts, this is a seismic event. Online forums buzz with speculation, citing biblical passages like Matthew 24 verse 27. For as the lightning comes from the east and flashes to the west, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. And Revelation 22 verse 20, where Jesus promises, I am coming soon. Skeptics, however, urge caution. Structural changes could stem from routine maintenance, natural wear, or unauthorized tampering. Jerusalem's ancient walls undergo periodic restoration, and misinterpretations of archaeological work are common. In 1969, for instance, rumors of the gate's opening were debunked as repair-related activity. Scholars like Dr. Gabriel Barkey, a noted archaeologist, emphasized the need for verified evidence before drawing prophetic conclusions. Yet, the gate's symbolic power is undeniable. Its eastern orientation aligns with Jesus' ascension from the Mount of Olives and his promised return from the same direction. The timing of these reports, amid global tensions and religious fervor, fuels speculation that the divine timeline is accelerating. The Golden Gate's design reflects a blend of influences: Byzantine, Islamic, and earlier Jewish traditions. Its twin portals, Bab al-Rahma and Bab al-Tauba, lead to a 24 by 17-meter chamber supported by 4 columns. The upper level features 2 grand domes, with 3 pairs of smaller domes over the passageways. The eastern facade, with its semicircular arches and decorative bands, mirrors Levantine architectural styles, while the buried arch beneath suggests a First Temple-era foundation. The gate's history is a microcosm of Jerusalem's. It served as a processional route for priests, a defensive stronghold, and a symbol of divine promise. During the Second Temple period, it was the easternmost entry to the Temple Mount, accessible via a marble and cedar pathway. The Ottomans later transformed it into a watchtower, while the nearby cemetery and mosque underscored its multi-faith significance. Lean Rittmeyer's 1970s excavations revealed that the gate's massive gateposts predate the current structure, possibly linking to the Shushan Gate of King Solomon's era. The philosopher Maimonides described its use in Second Temple rituals, where priests descended a wide staircase to enter the sacred precincts. These layers, literal and metaphorical, connect the gate to Jerusalem's past and future. If the Golden Gate has indeed opened, the implications are profound. For Christians, it could herald the fulfillment of prophecies in Ezekiel, Zechariah, and Revelation. Evangelical communities, particularly in the United States, view it as a sign of the end times, prompting calls for prayer and vigilance. Jewish groups, especially those advocating for the Third Temple's construction, see it as a step toward messianic redemption. For Muslims, the gate's status as part of the Haram esh-Sharif makes any change a sensitive issue, given the site's religious and political significance. Politically, the gate is a flashpoint. The Temple Mount is one of the most contested sites in the world, governed by a delicate status quo between Israel and the Jordanian Waqf. Any alteration to the Golden Gate could spark tensions, as seen in past disputes over the site. The lack of official statements from authorities fuels uncertainty, leaving room for speculation to flourish. Suleiman the Magnificent's decision to seal the gate in 1541 remains a subject of debate. Was it a defensive measure, a political statement, or a theological act? The Ottoman Empire, at its zenith, sought to assert dominance over Jerusalem's multi-faith landscape. By sealing the gate and placing a cemetery in front, Suleiman may have aimed to neutralize Jewish and Christian messianic hopes, reinforcing Ottoman control. The cemetery's placement, rooted in Jewish purity laws, suggests a deliberate attempt to deter a priestly figure like Elijah. Alternatively, Suleiman's restoration of Jerusalem's walls was a practical endeavor. The gate's projection made it vulnerable to attack, and sealing it strengthened the city's defenses. Yet, the theological context, particularly the gate's link to messianic prophecy, cannot be ignored. Suleiman, a devout Muslim, was aware of the gate's significance across faiths, making his decision a layered act of faith and power. Today, the Golden Gate remains a focal point of devotion and debate. Jewish worshippers pray nearby for the temple's rebuilding, Christians see it as a prophetic signpost, and Muslims revere it as part of the Haram esh-Sharif. Its sealed arches, weathered by centuries, stand as a testament to Jerusalem's enduring mysteries. The reported opening, whether physical or symbolic, has reignited interest in the gate's role in divine history. For believers, it is a call to watchfulness, echoing Jesus' words in Matthew 24 verse 42. Therefore keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. For skeptics, it is a reminder of the need for evidence amid fervor. The Golden Gate is more than a stone structure. It is a bridge between heaven and earth, history and prophecy. Its reported opening, whether confirmed or not, stirs the imagination of millions. Is it a divine sign, a historical quirk, or a misinterpretation? Only time will tell. For now, the gate stands as it has for centuries, silent, sealed, and steeped in mystery, inviting all to ponder its place in the divine narrative.